Korangi nui ki runga, ko papatu e nuku ki raro. Nā tā whaki, rawa I whakawehe, nāna no I whiwhi ai ngā kete wānanga e toru. Hei arahi mō tātou, I te ao marama, a ti hei mauri ora. Kia ora tātou te whānau, and welcome. I'm Lee Taituha of the Pātaka Institute for Freedom and Whānau. And we're here at my home in Piopio. We're a rural farming village of the Ngāti Maniapoto Rohe of the Tainui Waka, or the King Country region of New Zealand. A Pātaka is a charity that provides free information that we hope will be of help to you and your whānau. A Pātaka is a building or storehouse where we can safely store important things like food and seeds to grow food and medicines and other valuable important things that need protecting for the future. So here at the Pātaka Institute, we teach about 3 kete or baskets to put into our Pātaka. And they are to keep full and to store for our whānau and future generations. First, Pātaka Kai, which is the knowledge to fill our puku, or our stomach, our belly. Pātaka Korowai, the knowledge to weave relationships and to provide for those who are in need. Pātaka Motuhake, for every community to have full self-reliance, full employment, mana motuhake. Now, I've grown up on farms and around my rural marae my whole life. And farming not only feeds our families and our whole country, but good farming is good environmentalism. I believe it's real environmentalism, or kaitiakitanga, looking after the land and waterways so they can look after us. So you'll find on our website for your whānau and farmers, for anybody, lessons on how to grow your own food safely and healthily and also with less water. Growing watercress and microgreens inside your own house or in your backyard, or growing them for commercial sale. Vertical solar powered aquaponics and Pātaka at home or at the marae or on the farm. And you'll also see our secret weapon in farming isn't much of a secret at all. It's actually in the topsoil, where we can return carbon from the atmosphere back into the soil of our farms. Mai rangi nui ki papatūnuku, whakahuki ki a papatūnuku. Soil of our farms to improve the stock growth and production, increase drought resistance and water retention, and we can become not only carbon neutral, but carbon negative. We'll show you how you can create up to 20 tonne per hectare of extra food forage for your stock while clicking up 20 carbon credits per hectare per annum right there in the soil without retiring 1 inch of land. You don't need to plant 1 pine tree or any trees at all. So your farm will stay in livestock production while becoming carbon negative, but it will also improve production. So a soil carbon Pātaka also means we'll be able to completely abandon artificial nitrogenous fertilizers. So no more fert bills while reducing nitrogenous runoff into waterways. We can go from a topsoil or organic material layer of around 200 mil, which is pretty good, down to over 1.5 meters to even 2 meters of topsoil. Mai rangi nui a whakahoia ki a papatūnuku, from the atmosphere back into Mother Earth. And you'll learn that the real riparian zone isn't through planting pretty trees and shrubs on riverbanks and stream banks. That's literally just the band-aid on the symptoms of waterways pollution. The real riparian zone is actually back in the soil. It's the topsoil itself. We can sort that there long before it even makes its way to waterways. We've actually found that riparian zones can concentrate pollutants. So that's Pātaka Kai, working with our environment to keep our belly full. Mai rangi nui a ki papatūnuku, a mai papatūnuku ki rangi nui. Now let's talk about Pātaka Motuhake, or full employment, or full local self-reliance. Before we talk about that, I would like to tell you exactly where we've gone wrong in the last 40 years. We've actually replaced what works with what sounds good. Now, when I grew up here in Piopio, everyone, especially every young man, had a job to go to. We all soon learned pretty early on in life, at a very young age, how to work. It was just unsaid. You just worked. If you left school, then you went to work. And the jobs were right here. Now, what I've seen that has torn families apart and destroyed entire communities right across New Zealand is a different type of virus. Not like the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. Not at all. This is actually a more pervasive virus. It's called unemployment. And the cause is accepting unemployment. We hear statistics like 3%, 5%, 10%, and maybe possibly as a result of the COVID pandemic, our economic recovery might involve up to 20% unemployment, and we just accept it. At Pātaka, we do not accept unemployment, we reject it. We believe everyone deserves to grow up in a family and in a home and in a community where there are jobs to go to, and an equal opportunity for everyone to have the dignity of paid work, to raise their children and to provide for their families and communities from the sweat of their own brow, and for their children to witness everybody working hard. The most important thing I learned from my parents and my elders was how to work. And we lived in a community where the work was available. Now, you'll hear from academics, economists, central bankers, and politicians. They'll say that unemployment is a very complicated, multifaceted, complex issue that only their theoretical models of supply and demand curves and inflationary forecasts, interest rate forecasts can explain, let alone their faulty fiscal and monetary policies, which at best are guesses, regardless of who's in government. They are all wrong. And not only a bit wrong, completely wrong. They'll say full employment is impossible. Well, no, it isn't. Not only is it possible, it's actually been done before. They'll say unemployment is difficult to sort out. No, it's not. It's simple. Unemployment is simply an unspent income. Literally, it is just a political decision. That's all that needs to be done, is to invest more, reduce taxes, and unemployment will go away. I'll teach you during our short courses that because New Zealand is a sovereign fiat currency issuing nation, our government on our behalf issues our currency in the first instance, meaning it spends first. Because of that, it cannot ever go broke. It can clear any debt at any time in the currency. It can purchase any good or service valued in that currency, can purchase all idle labor at any price. Now, we're scared into thinking, well, we have to go and borrow that money from China and then we're going to leave all this debt to our grandkids. None of that is true. It's just lies to scare us into accepting unemployment and accepting economic underperformance. Because our government issues our currency first, it does not need 1 cent of taxes to pay for anything. Taxes do not fund anything. So now, next time I hear you complain under your breath in those hushed tones, how sick we all are of paying our taxes and being spent on things that we all disagree with, well, I'm here to let you know that your taxes are not at all used to pay for anything. I'll help you clear that up and clear up some few other common myths and economic myths particularly that we've gotten so used to hearing over so many years. A government deficit or spending is our surplus. Government must spend a deficit, otherwise we will not have access to the currency. The only other option is through bank credit creation, and you'll learn how that works as well. Now, not only this sovereign currency system well known in the past, It was even orthodoxy a century ago. It wasn't only understood by the Westminster-based government structures that we inherited from England, but my ancestor, King Tawhiao, established his own bank and sovereign currency as early as 1886. So literally, we have replaced what worked yesterday with what sounds good today. So on our Pātaka site, you'll find our natural sciences and macroeconomic short courses, which will teach you in simple facts and evidence to demonstrate just how much we've gone off the rails and been teaching entirely rubbish in our schools and universities, especially when it comes to economics. But more importantly, you'll see in our short courses how easy it is for us to get back on track and to return back to what works. And first and foremost, work works at all costs. Because what you learn at the Pātaka Institute will contradict almost everything we've come to think is true, you may find what I'm saying completely unbelievable. It's understandable, and you'll find it counterintuitive. For many of us, the points I'll take you through will be inconvenient or even destabilizing. It's because over the past 40 years, we've come to believe things, not because they're demonstrably true, but because they've just been repeated over and over again by so-called experts and influential people. They're just popular ideas that sound great, but it's just the reality that doesn't cooperate. Now you'll find back on the website our pink email link just to the right of the screen. So I encourage you to critique the videos and everything I put to you. Doubt it, debate it, come to your own opinion. Please reach out to me if you'd like to chat through anything. Now, we don't use blogs and posts and shares and likes and YouTube comments at the Pātaka Institute. We've learnt that they're just clickbait and a venting platform. I prefer email and then possibly a discussion, because anyone who takes the time to email, I know has genuine questions and is serious about learning and also debating and discussing through important points. Now, what I can assure you is I will be there at the end of the email to cause you to stop and think. It's my purpose to persuade you through facts and evidence. My own personal opinion is irrelevant. It's the facts and evidence that are important. Not my truth, not your truth, but the truth. There's actually something even more important than what's right and what's best for you. It's who decides what's right and what's best for you and your family. And here we say that that's you and only you. Ko wai te whakatau, ko koe te whakatau. So the Pātaka vision is for you to have your own vision. I believe that self-determination, self-reliance, or mana motuhake, has never ever been more important than when it is right now, as we face uncertainty, but also great opportunity in the future. So please get in touch with me soon. Email me back on the website and we'll chat. He anō ngā rangatira mā, anā kua takato te manuka. This is my challenge to you. Nō reira, kia koutou ngā whānau whānui. Ngā mihi aroha kia koutou me te manaakitanga o te rungarawa. Kia koutou ngā hunga pauri ana, me ngā tangata rangapore. Me ngā tangata pauri. Tēnā koutou, a tēnā koutou a kauri.